So now what do we need to do? Now we need to check that if the input is all valid, then I want to sign up this user in Firebase. So obviously I need an if statement. So I can put an if statement, and then I need the validator to be the condition. So, and also I need to also connect the if statement to the on tap. So now when the user taps on the button or on the widget, then this node will be called. And then I will check if all the input in the form is valid. And if it is valid, which is like this happy scenario, then the line on then will be called. And if there is one or more, then the line on else will be called. So now I don't need to do anything when else is called, because when I call validate, it already shows an error underneath the text that is like wrong. So I don't need to do anything here. But when it's true, then I need to actually sign up. So if you open the pop-up, you will find a section called Firebase. Now you will find the section only after you connect your project to Firebase and you also enable the authentication. So you will see the methods that you can use. So what do we have here? Current user, we can bring the information for the current user. Sign in with Google, where you can actually call the method to sign in. Send password reset email, sign in with email and password, sign up with email and password, and send we're gonna go through all of them actually today. So let's start with sign up. So here, if I call this function, that's it. I will be able to sign up the user in the database. And I want this one to be connected to then. So only if the information is correct, like all information like matches the validator, then I will need to call the sign up. All right, so now I need to bring the email and password from the screen. And you can find them under locals. We already created the email feed and password feed, and those are the text controller objects that we just renamed like a few minutes ago. And those are the ones who created when you drop the text field. So when I bring the email one, I can actually bring the text from it. So when I do this, I bring the object first, and then I bring the text inside that text field. And I can connect that to email. And the same thing, I can just write password, and I can bring the password field. I want to get the object, and I want to bring the text and connect it. So now, if all the information are correct, then I will call sign up, and then I will bring the email and the password from the text field and pass it to the function. And then this is an async function, which means that it can take some time because it will connect to Firebase and execute. So if you connect anything here afterwards, it's not sure that those things will be executed after the signup is done. But if you add it inside on value, then you are sure that those, let's say those nodes will be executed after the signup is done. So I'm gonna open on value, and here inside on value, I will now create a function that will be executed only when the user sign up successfully and there is nothing wrong happen in Firebase. Now here, I can then, for example, okay, what I want to do actually is send verification email. So in Firebase, you will find a field called a node called send verification email. And when I call this function, now it will send a verification email. So you have to, like, it's optional of course, but it's a good strategy to be sure that when someone put the email, they actually own the email and they actually like wrote the correct email. So when I do this and I send the verification email to the user, when it's success, again, it's the same thing here because it's an async function. You will find something called on value and on error. On value, the function inside will be executed when the verification email is sent successfully. So when the verification email is sent successfully, I also need to click inside on value. And here, what I need to do is I need to navigate the user to the home screen and also show them a message that a verification email was sent. So I need to navigate and I need to choose the screen. I want to go to the login. And then I want to show a message. So you can call something called show Snackbar. and show Snackbar will show a Snackbar in the app. That's it. Now, I know that it looks big and scary, but it's actually very simple. So this is the main node, which is the one that will actually show the Snackbar. And this one needs a Snackbar, a design. So this node is only passing an object of type Snackbar to the node that shows that Snackbar. And here, I can customize the details of the object of the Snackbar. So for example, I can set, I'm going to actually set a green background color. And I can also play with the margin, the padding, all those details in the Snackbar. And behind it, there's a text. So the Snackbar needs a text to display. And here I'm creating a text object and I'm passing it to the Snackbar. And with the object of Snackbar, I'm wrapping all of this and send it to the node that will show the Snackbar. So in the text, what I'm going to show is that, what do I need to show? Is that, okay, verification email was sent, check your inbox. That's it. So now let's try that out. So if we go to play, by the way, if you go to play and let's say you put a valid email like test Nowa app at gmail.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you click here, you'll see that because it's a preview only, you cannot actually run the node and actually sign up a user because it's a preview. So if you want to see like the real test, you need to use an emulator. But for now, if I click on test with fake user, it will show me what's going to happen if the function was correct. I mean, it was, if there's no error happen, so on value will be called. So when I click on that, what I can see, like, oh, verification was sent, check your inbox. So, and it took me also to the login page. So that's good. But actually, this was only like an emulation for if the sign up like was successful. But if you go to Firebase, you will not see an actual user. But I actually want to test the full scenario and see how it's gonna actually behave in real life. So for that, I'm gonna run my iOS emulator. So to do that, you have to have your project to be a local project. So the files should be not on the cloud, it should be in your device. And when you have the cloud in your device, so let's go back to the home screen. So if you have the desktop version of Nowa, you can click on create and you can create a project and you can choose local and you can give the path. So when you do that, the project is stored locally. And here, if you go to the list, if it has this cloud icon, it's on the cloud. If it doesn't have like this one, it's on your device. So when it's on your device, you will see here some extra options, which is run. And this will allow you to run the app on the emulator. So since if you run, like first of all, you need to actually run the emulator and then you will see it here. So if you do not see your emulator here, it means it's not running. So you can go to VS Code and run it. You can call it directly and run it. But here you will see the running emulators. And here I can see the iPhone. So I can click on it and click on run. And now I'm going to wait a little bit until the app runs. So actually I want to just give some space and just have the emulator to be on the right. And I'm going to wait a little bit until the emulator runs and the build happens. And when you go to the logs, you'll see like here what's happening now. So now it's trying to run the main.dart on the iPhone in debug mode. So I'm going to wait and see when the app is actually running. Okay, so now the app is actually running. And here I can see the logs. So I can just close it. Now I have the actual app. So here, let me test all of that in action. So if I put like some wrong information, I will see invalid email, I will see a field is required. So it works. Now I want to put Nowa tests app at gmail.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and click on create account. So now doing that will actually go to the login page and show me that, oh, email was sent. Now, this small overflow, it's an overflow. We can actually just modify it on the layout. I'll do this later, which like the login, let's actually see what's happening. So if I could do this to auto and I click on hot restart, let's see if this, oh, okay, I'm not in the home page anymore. All right, we can check on that later. Okay, so now we created the account. So let's go back now to the authentication panel inside Firebase, and here I can see nowatestapp@gmail.com. So the user were like successfully created. And we also, if we check the email, we will see that, let's refresh, we should have, yes, we actually got a verification email. So verify your email for a project, and if I click on this, now I'm verified. I don't want to verify it now because I need to do something else. Now, by the way, if you go to the templates inside Firebase and you go to like email address verification, here is a template. You can change the template of how it looked like, so you can customize it. For now, I'm going to keep it the same. So now we have it successful and we got to the home page. Now here we're going to do the same thing. Now, of course, you can do again the same verification. So I will just now put the emulator down. I'll put this on the full screen. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to do the login. So I can do the same validation, but I don't want to do that. You already know how to do it, so I'm going to skip on this part. So here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call the function that sign in the user. So let's actually, again, add a gesture detector to the custom button that I made before, and on tap, let me actually put it on full screen. Now, before I do this, I want to be sure the names. Okay, I also need to change the names, so I'm going to call the text field here email field and password field. Good. Okay, so going back to the logic again. Okay, so now we need to sign in. So to do that, just like you can right click, or you can even click on the plus and you can write sign in, or you can search under Firebase. So sign in with email and password, and then I can bring the email field, and I can bring the text from the email field, and I can connect it here, and I can just do the same thing for the password field and bring the text and connect here. By the way, if you click on the code, this is the code written for you, and you can notice it's a clean code. It doesn't choose any external packaging. It's something that if you download, you can actually work on and scale from. So it's nothing that you will be unfamiliar with. It's like pure Flutter code. All right, going back, if you switch again, if you click on this switch, then you go back again to the logic. Okay, so now we are signing in with email and password. And now on value, when it's successful, I want to do a check. I want to see if the user is validated. Now, if the sign in did not work, then it means that the user maybe wrote a wrong email or password. But if they actually wrote their actual email and password and they log in, then we need to check if it's actually verified. If yes, we will gonna get them to the home screen. If no, we will tell them to verify. So now we are inside the login, and here the function that will be called, which is like on value inside sign in, which will be called when the sign in is successful. And here I want to actually check if the user is verified. So if you go to the Firebase section, you'll find an object called current user, and from this object you can get all the information about the user, like the email, the password, the anonymous, the photo URL, all this information. So what I want to do is I want to check if the user is verified. So I think the email verified, yes. And if you check here, it's a boolean. It's true or false. So is it verified or it's not verified? And here I want to do if statement again, and I want to check this condition, the if statement, and then I can see like, okay, if the user is verified, then I want to get them to the home screen. So which is, what's the name of the home screen? Homepage. Okay, so I'm gonna get them, gonna use navigate and choose the push. Actually, no, I want to do push replacement. So what does push replacement do is it removes the sign-in page and it replaces it with the home screen. So when the user click on back, the user will not be able to go back to the sign-in page. So this is how you usually should be done. And I want to go to the home. Here's home screen, home screen, home screen. Yep, home page. Okay, so now I'm going to the home page if the user is verified. If the user is not verified, you can do a lot of things. So for me, I will do something simple. I can show an alert dialog, or I can show a snack bar again. And for me, I'm gonna show a snack bar because it's less strong. Like if I show like a dialog, it will be like I'll rather show something like smooth and simple. So I'm gonna just go with a snack bar. Okay, so now you see now there's a lot of things happened, but again, it's a very simple thing. So same snack bar, I'm passing an object of snack bar and I'm passing a text to the snack bar. And I want the background to be, I'm gonna make it red. And in the text, I will pass email is not verified. Check your inbox. Okay, good. Now, I have the logic ready. So if the user is verified, it will go to the home page and it will remove the sign-in page. If it's not, it will only show the dialog and it will stay in the sign-in page until the user verify. Now, what I like to do, by the way, is I like to create, since I have the local project, it's always a good practice as a developer to commit your changes. So do not make one huge commit. You need to do a commit for everything that's like useful. So we did the sign up actually first, and now we're doing the sign in. Actually, to do it as a best practice, we need to make a commit after the sign in. I mean, commit after the sign up, and another commit after the sign in. But we missed doing it for the sign up. So since I have the project locally, I can connect GitHub to it. So here, if I go to GitHub, I create a repository in the same path of the project I created, which is called login process, which is the same one we are having here, the login process. I already created the repository, which is a local one. I did not even push it. And every time I do a change, like here, for example, this is what changed now. We changed the text controller to the email field, and you can see all the changes that happened from the last commit. And here I'm going to just like save it. So I'm going to add sign in and sign up. Comment. Now, the nice thing here is just like if something happened, if I want to go back to my previous changes, if I go to history, I can go back to any change I want. And yeah, so like now, let's say, for example, if I want to change this name to something else, I want to do like check inbox and I save it. Wait, if I click on the project, okay, so the command is not, shortcut is not working for some reason. But if I click on save now and I go back to GitHub and I go to changes, I will see that, oh, you changed the email is not verified to check inbox, which is, and also you can discard it and you can, actually, let's do that. So if I close a project and in GitHub, I discard the change, so I don't want that. And then I open the project again. Then if I go to the sign in inside on value, I will see that the text here is email not verified, please check your inbox, which is the older one. So when we did discard the change, it reverted the changes and it, gave me back my old text. Okay, so now we have it done. Now I want to still test it on the real emulator. So actually, let's run the emulator, and I have it here, but I need to like get the changes. So now I want I want the home screen to be the login at this point. So I need to change that to the home screen. And then I need to cancel and run again. So I can start from the home screen. All right, let's see. Okay, so now we got the app running. So let's actually try to sign in with the same email we just created before, which was nowatestapp@gmail.com. And the password is 123456778. All right. Now, here we can say that we got the error, which is email is not verified, check your inbox, because we did not verify it yet. So keeping the same app, let's go back again to the email and let's click on the link of the verification. And now we can see, all right, the email is now verified. So let's go back and now again click on login. And now we are in the home page. So now we created a full sign in, sign up functionality. So let's now do the last thing before we actually move to the next topic, which is, let me actually put this on full screen, reset password. So let's say you forgot your password. What's going to happen then? So here we simply need to, first of all, if I click on forget password, this text, I need to add a gesture detector to give it the clicking functionality that it goes to the reset password page. So if you click on tab, and here I can be like navigate, and when I click on it, I want to go, which is only push, I don't want to do anything else, to reset password page. So when we display on the preview quickly, click here, okay, go back to this one, good. Now I want to add, by the way, adding an out bar gives you the ability to press back. So maybe if I add an out bar here, for example, and I will keep it the same color as the home screen. So I'm gonna go to the up bar and give it the same background. Let's say I'm gonna paste it here, click. So I'm gonna call it, go to the title, call it reset password. The only reason I'm doing this is just because I want to add have the back button. So when you click on forget password, if you have the up bar, it automatically comes with back. So, and inside reset password, I want that, wait, first of all, let's check the name of the text field. So email field again. And here in the send email, I want to add a wrapper again to give the clickable functionality to this widget. And when I click on, by the way, if you use a button, like the icon button or the button, the floating button, you don't need to do anything. It will already have the on tab. But if you do a widget like a column or a group or row, and you put a background color and you customize it to look nice, then if you want it to be a button, you only need to add this gesture detector. So let's go and open the tab. And here in Firebase, I can see something called reset, or no, wait. Yes, where's the reset password? Send password reset email. So when I connect it now, I can actually call this function and it will send a reset email. And I want to connect it to the email, which is email field and text. By the way, the email field here is not the same as the one we created before, because the text, the controllers are local variables. So local mean it's only for that local screen or component. So when you create a component or you create a screen, then you will have some local stuff, which is only accessible from inside. So when I use the email field inside the reset password screen, I am referring to the one here. If I'm using even if I have the same name for this text field, but it's on another screen, and it's as local for that screen. So even if you have the same name, it will not conflict because each one lives in a different scope. So going back to the reset, let's just connect to the reset. And now on value, when it's called, I can then call, for example, when I'm in value, when the verification is sent, I can again show Snackbar, and the Snackbar is reset password is sent. Good. So now if I click on forget password, and by the way, the function will not work, so let's actually try that on the actual okay, we are signed in already, so let's just restart the okay, so now the app is running. So I want now to test if I want to reset my email and password. So I can say Nowa test app at gmail.com, which is the email I used and I sent, and reset password is sent. And if I go back to my email, I can see reset your password, and here I can enter the new password. So it works. Now there's one thing actually we forgot to do, which is what if the login information were not correct? So let's go back to the login. So here we say that, okay, if email is verified, now okay, let's actually go back from the top level, which is when you click on the login. So to recap, what happened at this point is that we call the function sign in, and inside on value, if the sign in is successful, we check if the user is validated, and if not, we show a Snackbar. If yes, we get them to the home screen. What if there's a problem with the sign in? So there was either the internet or even maybe the email and password were correct. So this will go to the on error. So if you click here, we can actually see the on error. And here, for example, when this print will print it on the log. But what if I want to display that in the Snackbar? So what I'm gonna do if an error happen, I actually want to print it to see the error, but I also want to show Snackbar, and I want to make it very scary, so have a red background because an error happened, and the text will be this one. So when you use the errors, the $sign, okay, then you are getting like here, you're not passing the text as error, you're actually getting the actual error object. So here, if you see the function passes the on error, it passes an object called error. And this one, if you grab it, it's have the error message. So when you print it, you will display this error message to the so I can actually just connect it like that, or I can actually just okay, here I need to pass a message, so I can actually show the same error. All right, so let's play now, and let's actually run it on the actual emulator. So I'm gonna actually, you can click on restart, but I mistakenly clicked on the stop, so I'm gonna wait again until the app runs again. But also you have to check if the project is saved. So usually it auto saves, but it's sometimes good practice just to like click on Command S to be sure that the changes you made are actually saved. So let's see now what's gonna happen. So we're gonna wait a little bit until the emulator is working, and here you can see like the logs running Xcode build. So we're gonna wait until the app runs. Okay, so the app now is running, and let's now check the, so let me pass the same email, nowatestapp@gmail.com, but let me pass a wrong password. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. If I click on login, then I will see that error, which is the supplied authentication credential is not correct. Now, if there is no internet, I will see the different type of error. So this will show you the error as it comes. But also what you can do is you can check if the error is matching this text. You can actually pass another text if you want it to look more pretty. But I mean, now I think you can do it. So let's now jump to the next step. Okay, so now we did the sign in with email and password, and also the sign up. So the next step is, if you go to the home page, I wanted to use the data from the user. So in the home page, for example, inside the hello username, what I can do is I have a text field here, and instead of it being fixed, I want to compute it. So when I click on compute, it will create a function that returns a value of that text. So doing that, and if I open it in Circuit, now instead of having a text which is very fixed, I can actually do it dynamically. Okay, so here I want to bring now the email from the user. So if I go to Firebase here, I will have the current user object, and I can bring information like email, display name. Let me say email, for example. And I want to say hello first. So I want to add a plus actually, and in the plus I want to connect the email, and I say, for example, no wait, I need the plus to be, I want to add first hello, for example, and then I want to add the and I added hello with a space, and then I adding that text with the email, and then I'm connecting it here. So what would happen now is that when the user logs in, they will say hello with their email. Now, if you sign in with Google, for example, you can bring more information like the photo, but now we only signed up with email and password, so we only have the email and password for now. So let's try to see that in action. So now wait, we save the project and you click on hot restart, and then let's actually sign in. So let me write Nowa testapp@gmail.com and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 login. And now I can see hello, and I can see the email. So here I were successful in bringing the information. Okay, next step, sign out or log out. So I'm gonna actually add the logout functionality to this button. So I will go to the first And in the logout here, I have it as an icon. Okay, so let's actually check the home screen to see how is the structure of the home screen is. So I have an up bar in the home screen, and in the up bar I'm adding the title, for example, but I also can add an action. So here I added one action, and the action takes a widget. So I added an icon button as an action, and if I click on the brush here, I can go inside the icon button, and here, which is this one, it logs out. And inside on press, I can pass a logic. So what's going to happen when I click on this icon? And I want to only sign out. So in Firebase, you can find something called sign out. And when it's successful, inside, of course, you can always pass some logic to the on error if the sign out was not successful, like there's no internet or whatever, which is, we already talked about it before. So here, if I could sign out, I want to go to the home screen, to the login screen. So I want to go to the login, but I don't want to push replacement. I want to push and remove until. What does that mean? Which it means like it will remove all the history of screens and replace all of them with only the login screen. So if I choose the screen here to be the login, then all the screens that were before, like if you click and you added the task and then you went to another screen and screen, if I use push and I click on back, I will go back to the home page. And if I have push replacement, it will replace that screen. But if I have another screens in the back, it will not remove them. So I want to remove everything, all the history, and replace all of this with the login page. And here there's something called predicate that you can add a logic, and the logic, which is, will check on all the screens in the history, and until you pass true, until you return true, it will stop. But here I'm returning false, which means like it will go back and remove all the screens until there is no screen left, and then it will add the login, which what I need right now. So let me now click on start and go again here. I want to sign in again, so Nowa test app at gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and if I log in and I have the tasks, I can click here and I can log out, and I cannot go back. So if there's a back here, there's nothing to go back to because all of it were removed. Nice. Now we're able to do the logout as well. So now we implemented the sign in, sign up, reset password, verification, and logout. The last step to make your login very actually professional is the problem now, every time the user wants to go to the app, they have to sign in. You don't want this. You want to check if the user is signed in. And we have already inside Firebase, if you remember, we have something called is user sign in. So I want to use that. So what I'm going to do now is I need to use the splash screen. And when the splash screen is displaying, I will check if the user is signed in or not. So in the splash screen, I want to set it as a home screen. That is the first step. And then later, I want to then go to the logic of the home screen. So scroll back to the top and click on open in circuit. This will open the full screen logic. And in the functions here, you can override existing Flutter functions. And this one is a function that it gets called when the screen created, which is initialize state. If you're familiar with Flutter, and we also published a video about splash screen that you can check. So if I click on this, I can have a function which is, I can actually modify on the function that will be called when the screen is created. So here, what I want to do is I want to check if the user is logged in, and I also want to show the splash screen for a little while. So if I want to do it very organized, I can create a function here, another one, and call it from here. But let me actually just do it on the in the same initialized state here. So I want now to bring the timer. First of all, I want to create a timer object. Okay, and the timer object is a function that after a certain time it will call a specific function. So I want the timer to be for 2 seconds, and this one will be the time when the splash screen is displayed. And inside callback here, this will be called after the timer is done. And here I want to check if the user is signed in. So if I choose is user sign in, and it returns a boolean, and I want as well an if statement, and I want to remove this here. So if, oh no, I don't want to connect this one, so I want to connect this one, and I want to connect the if statement to the callback. So now if the user is signed in after the splash screen is done, then I want to navigate to the where do I want to navigate now? Let me actually just put this on a full screen, and I want to navigate to the home page. And if the user is not signed in, I want to navigate to the login. So here I'm going to also choose navigate, and I will do, actually both I want to be push replacement because I don't want the user to be able to go back to the splash screen, and I will choose the login. All right, so now let's actually restart the app. Let's go back to the emulator and let's sign in. Wait, what was the email, the test email? Nowa test app at Gmail. No, actually, wait, I want to close the app. So if I open the app, no, I want to close it completely. So I want to, because it's really difficult to do the closing from here. Yep. And I want to open it now. So now I'll see a splash screen, and then the login screen will appear because I'm not logged in yet. So, all right, that's good. So now if I do Nowa test app at gmail.com and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I log in, then I'm inside. By the way, I can also show like a login progress bar. I can do this modification. We can do it later in this video. But now I'm logged in and I can see the email here. So let me close the app. And now if I open the app, I can see the splash screen, and then it will go to the home page because I'm already signed in. But if I click on sign out and I go back to the login screen and I close the app and I open it again, then the splash will run and then I will go to the login screen. Amazing. Last step is I want to display a login indicator when the user logged in. So let's see how to do that.